Welcome to the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast. I'm Iconoclast.
And I am your host, Dick Taka. We are almost 24 hours removed from the end of
All in London.
The pretty much stellar AEW All in London. I don't think it was as... I think the quality of matches was better than last year. I do. I think the main event was better.
Yeah.
I think, but as usual, I have problems with some stuff, but not enough to take away from the show.
Before we get up to that, I do want to tell this one joke I have about Rikishi.
Is this safe for the internet?
Yeah, let me find it. So, people on Reddit were talking about one of Rikishi's other sons who wrestles on the indies.
How many fucking kids does this guy
Well,
have?
that's the top comment here on this Reddit thread. Has Rikishi ever heard of a condom? He's hyper virile. They just shoot right through. He can get a woman pregnant at 20 paces. And then the other comment here, I don't really get this joke about the Rock and Roll Express. Ricky Morton walks over and puts it in. Robert Gibson puts it in and walks over.
Oh, I don't get that either.
That's just feel like that Robert
There has to be
Gibson's-
some kind of concat. It doesn't have to do with like the Jimmy Valiant shit with the shitting on the
does
glass
Robert
table.
Gibson have like a huge... does that mean he has like a big penis? Is that what they're trying to say?
I don't know, but I was watching a shoot interview tonight, and Roddy Piper was talking about Lord Alfred Hayes, that queer British guy that used to do stuff on Saturday mornings. He was an announcer. He said he had the biggest penis of anybody he ever saw. He said he would like swing it like it was gigantic. That's what's going and talking about Raven and Too Cold Scorpio. Al Snow said Too Cold Scorpio's got the biggest cock he ever saw.
I know Raven infamously has a large one.
Well, yeah, that's because Steve Austin had to say something to him when he came to WWF because his wife was in the locker room.
Why was his wife in the locker room?
Because she was talent too, Deborah McMichael.
They didn't have separate locker rooms?
But they'd be walking around backstage. Guys are, boys will be boys. I mean, that's all they used to say when I was a kid. Elizabeth was the only one in the locker room, and Randy used to keep her locked up. Yeah, you stay right there, dig it. But anyway,
oh yeah, the macho man, the cream rises to the top. Oh yeah.
But anyway, the show started. I still don't think there's any reason to have a 2-hour fucking pre-show. Because a lot of those matches, some of the matches they had on a regular card, they could have flip-flopped with some of the stuff on the pre-show. But we say that every time.
Now, okay, here was the first match on the pre-show.
Praise Jesus, this match. Holy God.
First ever time I've ever seen a 16-man tag.
Now, was it 8 on 8?
Yes.
So it's like, almost like the old Survivor Series stuff then, where they used to do the 10 on 10, the 5 teams against each other. But it wasn't elimination.
No.
Now, that's even worse. Well, they'd still be doing it if it was elimination. They'd still be fighting right now.
So here you have it. It was Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight. Darius Martin and Dante Martin defeated Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Ari Daivari, Private Party, Mark Quent, and Isaiah Cassidy, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds.
He had a breath there? Jesus.
Because Evil Uno, he was supposed to be in the Casino Gauntlet match.
But there was a weight.
But Hangman...
He's over the weight limit.
Hangman attacked him.
But anyway, all I got to say is...
It was only
I thought the Dark Order were gone.
The Dark Order.
But I will tell you, Reynolds and Silver for being 3.5 feet tall. I mean, that fucking guy, like that... I always go back to that match he had with Punk. That guy can wrestle. It's a shame he'll never get taken seriously because, midgets don't wrestle anymore. But this was...
I'm always going to remember them coming in and them having to stand in the ring and move around while they're redoing the...
They were standing on trash bags, for Christ's sake. I don't have any pictures of it either. I'm pissed. I went back on my phone all the way to like 2 years ago. But this match was... They obviously, none of these guys... I think Tommy Billington has a bright future. It's amazing how much he looks...
So does Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, Kyle Felcher. But Tommy Billington, it's amazing how much he looks like the uncle even. But this was obviously all the guys.
Apparently, Bret Hart's the one that convinced him to use the Dynamite Kid name. Because originally, Tommy Billington...
there's quite a stigma with that after that Dark Side of the Ring and shit came out of it.
Tommy Billington, he said that he didn't want to use it because he didn't think he was good enough to use the name.
Yeah, but Dynamite was... all cruiserweights, especially Benoit. Benoit patterned himself right after him. But anybody from Canada that saw him in Stampede back in the late 70s, early 80s, and in Japan, and in the early days of the WWF Junior Heavyweight Championship and all those matches with Tiger Mask, which those are some of Meltzer's original 5-star matches, and they do hold up today.
Oh, speaking of that, I got to talk about that later. Meltzer was there in person.
Really? They didn't stop him at the door? I figured he'd be stammering what he had to say. He'd still be. Wait, was he at the scrum afterwards? Oh, all right.
Some funny.
We'll do that. We'll go over that at the end of the show. But all these
said some funny stuff to him.
But all these guys in this match, it was like you're just trying to get him in. Like not everybody needs to be on there.
Kind of like when they had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania. They just
that was good like once. After that, you didn't need to do it again. But like these names on here, a Go-Go, I didn't know he wasn't there for a while. The Dark Order, you heard me talk about them. Jay Lethal's the jobber to the stars. Leo Rush is worthless. Rocky Romero is like basically a part-timer because he's a backstage guy now. Billington and Fletcher are the only, Rush too, but Billington and Fletcher are the only young guys of note that I like.
Leo Rush isn't really, I think he's older than you think he is.
He probably is, but...
Oh, wait, what the fuck? He's only 29? I feel like he's been around forever.
Now, this match I missed.
So many promotions.
As you know, my feed, because I don't pay for these, my feed kept going in and out. But I think, mastered on how to get right back into the show. But I missed this second match. I
thought this was entertaining. This was Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. It was just really fun watching Stokely sell for Ishii.
Did Stokely just run away from him the whole time in the beginning?
First, he kept trying to avoid Chris Statlander tagging him. So for a while, it was just a singles match between Willow and Statlander. And then Statlander tagged him in, and then he was all scared, and he just went up and tried to slap Ishii in the chest, and he just looked at him, and then he just pushed him over. And then it was like, he like threw him across the ring, and he oversold as best as he could.
Of course he did.
It was great. I thought it was entertaining.
The way you're describing it reminds me of Dangerous Danny Davis at WrestleMania 3. That's a hell of a sell job in that 6-man. You need to go back and watch that.
I love Stokely.
He's one of the more comic relief managers, like when they get their hands on him. Because, like Jimmy Hart back when I was a kid, like you couldn't wait for somebody to get their hands on fucking Jimmy Hart.
Did anyone eventually?
Brutus the Barber cut his hair. Roddy Piper got a hold of him in his retirement match against Adrian Adonis. Oh, my God. They always got a hold of him. He won a battle royal at a Madison Square Garden house show by hiding under the ring, Jimmy Hart.
He hid under the ring?
I have it somewhere. I can't remember. It's in the 80s sometime. I can't remember where it was. But, yeah, I did not see this, but I am starting to warm up to that Willow Nightingale.
I knew you would say that.
Big fat colored chambermaids. They're the ones that turn me on.
Oh, God.
Third match. The Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich, Sammy Guevara, Katsuyori Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes with Kevin Von Erich defeated the Undisputed Flatulence and Cage of Agony.
Oh, God. I knew I saw them come out.
Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Brian Cage, Bishop Kaun, and Toa Leona.
Tia Leone, the girl from Fun with Dick and Jane? Oh, no, never mind. I used that already.
Toa Leona.
And Bishop Kaun, one of my favorites. Now, I saw this match. I saw Kevin Von Erich, one of my favorites from growing up, pick his shoes off and get the iron claw on the guy. But did we really need a fucking 16-man, a mixed tag, and a 10-man tag all in a row? And who does Renee Paquette's makeup? She looked like Conrad Veidt from The Man Who Laughs, the original inspiration for the Joker.
Okay, and then we have...
Oh, wait, before you say anything else here, I do like they started the entrances for the 6-man title match 10 minutes with the 10 minutes left in the pre-show, which I thought was good because you're not wasting valuable airtime on it then.
Yeah, so then as soon as the pay-per-view started, they went into the first match.
Yeah, so it was great.
So Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, defeat the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne, with Killswitch, them always teasing the turn, and he's never going to do it. With Mother Wayne, the Bang.
Yeah, I saw her get in the ring for a minute. Your generation's Judy Bagwell, except she's better looking.
She got in there. She tried climbing the ladder, and then.
Oh, I didn't see that part. See, I was cooking a lot of stuff and getting stuff ready for the party yesterday too. So I didn't. I made sure from about second or third match in, and I sat there. I was watching Danielson outside.
Gave Killswitch's belt to her. So
yeah,
and then that's when Killswitch,
because he got hurt, didn't he?
No, but he gave his belt to her. He was standing there. It looked like he was going to come up behind him and choke slam him, but then the Bang Bang Gang ran out, so he didn't. That was on Collision a couple weeks ago. And the House of Black. This was a good match. I thought this was very good. I thought this was a good 4-star match.
Wait a minute, hold on here. Oh yeah, this was but there's so much shit going on.
That's the point.
I know, but before we go into that 16-man tag match, the times, right?
Yeah.
11 minutes and 35 seconds. That's not that long for an actual, for that many people.
Please, it's a pre-show. It doesn't count.
Well, no, I understand that. And then the mixed tag was 8 minutes and 10 seconds. The 10-man tag was 11 minutes. This, on the regular show, where the Blackpool Combat Club wins the Trios Championship, 18 minutes, 50 seconds. I'm okay with that. But why is it 4-way London ladder match? Is it the Tower of London?
I don't know.
Now,
Christopher Daniels made it a 4-way.
Yeah, but Juice Robinson, the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and both of the Guns without Jay White leaves me cold. I'd rather see Juice Robinson, Jay White, and somebody else, but they don't have anybody else in there.
I think he's hurt right now.
His pride's hurt after how bad they've booked him. And the House of Blick, who's never going to get any better than they are, I don't think. They might be Trios champions again, but I can't, I don't. Brody King just creeps me out. He looks like Captain fucking Spaulding from the goddamn Devil's Rejects.
Because you said that about the Righteous.
No.
Vincent
They're just
Dutch.
losers.
Vincent and Dutch.
The one guy that shit himself when he fought Roman Reigns years ago in Florida Championship Wrestling. All right, here's
beating a 2-on-1 handicap
in the pre-show, wasn't it? Mariah May defeated Timeless Tony Storm with Luther. The whole crowd wanted Mariah to win this, but they were behind Tony as well. 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
This was a 5-star match just for the storytelling.
They basically did the Piper Bret Hart ending from WrestleMania 8.
I don't know what that is.
Where Piper went to hit Hart with the bell, and he couldn't do it, and he picked him up, and they get in the corner, and Hart rolls him up. So that's kind of what...
because Tony had the shoe.
Yeah, and she couldn't do it. And then she won.
Because that was the shoe Mariah hit her with.
But that was the natural turn that we were all expecting. Her turning on her, the Virgil turn, as I call it, except she's the heel. And then she wins the title. Let's see if she holds on to it longer than Virgil held on to the $1 million belt.
Virgil! Think about your family!
Don't do it, Virg!
About your mother!
All right. And
Get down there! Put that belt around my waist.
Now, if we have to talk about the 6th match, we will.
I didn't watch this, so I didn't.
You didn't miss anything.
I was eating during this. I left. This is my bathroom break match.
Yeah, that's I mean, there's a couple matches on here that you could take a good dump through. The kind of dump makes you feel like you slept for 12 hours. So, you take a real good one, and first thing in the morning, you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to bed. But yeah, Hook defeated Chris Jericho for the World Championship. Hopefully, what I was reading today is Jericho's taking time off of television after this. Which, thank God. Did you hear him singing with Fozzy too? I don't know how he ever got a record deal. He sings like how he talks. Sounds just like him.
I told you, I was reading this interview where he said, when I hear the please retire chants, I'm like, why would I do that? I got a 6-pack and I can do a moonsault. I can write storylines. I can still do it with the best of them.
6-pack? Where's this? What is it? A 6-pack of Coors in the passenger seat of his car when he's driving?
Yeah, when he left his belt inside of a Longhorn Steakhouse when he was world champion.
Bro, he likes to drink, Chris. He does. All right, and this was the worst. You said
Taz ended up I saw that.
I knew that was going to happen.
Taz beat up Brian Keith.
Well, that's low-hanging fruit. That's the easiest guy to beat up there.
The Bad Apple.
The loser.
Big Bill and the Bad Apple. Hi, Hook! Hi, guys!
Oh, my God. I had never really sat through the whole spiel he does, and I'm glad. That was awful.
I am the learning tree!
No, that's the last time I want to hear that, because he's not going to be on TV All right. Shut up. No more.
This next match, the casino... No. Wait,
the tag match.
The tag match. This match is the worst match on the show.
And I can't even really blame it on the Bucks. They didn't really botch. I can't really, you know how I'm always picking on about how much they botched.
I can't really tell you anything that happened in this match.
Well, no, if they were going to put them over, why make it a 3-way? I thought it would have been natural
to have one of the other teams,
the Acclaimed win, not FTR. FTR is fucking ice cold. They have cooled off. They are not hot. They are the opposite of hot. They have cooled off so much between not being on TV and all the rah-rah speeches from G. Gordon Liddy.
No, because they're on Collision and no one watches Collision.
Oh, did you hear Tony talking about, it's so much easier to book Collision without Punk? I'm like, yeah, but nobody fucking watches it. Like, that really doesn't, it's going downhill. Like, I don't understand why they need all these shows. If I'm WBD, I'm telling them that they have to dump some of these hours. Like, Rampage. Why do you need Friday night and Saturday night? Do Wednesday night and Saturday night. I should do Wednesday night and Friday night, put Collision on Friday. Or don't do it at all and don't go head-to-head with WWE because you can't.
They don't go head-to-head with WWE.
Well, that's what I mean, but I know it's on after SmackDown, but it's the same night. But I'm saying don't even pick the same nights. You don't think the Monday Night Wars would have been a lot different if WCW didn't go on Monday night ever? And those Monday Night Wars in 2010, which people talk about with TNA going to Monday night.
TNA
that wasn't even... You know how bad they shit on that night? They brought Jeff Hardy on, right? As he was the big debut. They went in the back at Raw. Punk and Mike Knox are sitting there watching it on TV eating popcorn. They shit right all over it. That was the end. 10 minutes in. Vince was smart. He said, you know what? Let's show it. But anyway, this was the glorified...
That's also, by that point, that's when TNA was going downhill. Like, right before that, I think TNA was at its best.
Like 2006-ish when they got Angle?
2006, 2007, 2008.
Yeah, like when Angle was IWGP champ. And Angle had all the belts, remember?
Yeah.
He had the X Division, everything.
Styles was there, Samoa Joe, Christian. When Hogan comes in, because Hogan kills everything he touches, when Hogan and Bischoff came in, that's when they got ruined.
But I don't understand, like, Tony tries to act like the backstage stuff is better without Punk there, and it may well be.
It is.
You don't think Hulk Hogan was a pain in the ass? I'm sure he was. But they draw you money. That's what you got to think about. It doesn't matter if you like the guy or not. Yeah. That's irrelevant. You know how many people I work with that I can't stand?
Hey, Real Glass, Cry Me a River. We'll bring that up later.
That match sucked too.
Good. Hey, he's over. He's over.
Yeah, maybe he was over for a night in a different area. He's been over in Chicago one night and in England another night. He's not over all the time. I got in an argument with these AEW douchebags on Reddit the other day. They're like, this guy's so over. They're so popular. I said, just because you're hot for one night, and it wasn't about Perry, it was about somebody else. But
bad apple.
But anyway, the Young Bucks, if they were going to put the Bucks over, which I kind of figured they would. I wanted the Acclaim to win this one, but I figured the Young Bucks, because their contracts, they have limited dates in their contracts. Why would you agree to that as Tony? Like, it's like those contracts like Sting had with the WWE where you got like 6 dates and that's all they show up at. That's why they haven't. It's ridiculous. They don't have the kind of clout to run that kind of deal. They ain't, I'm sorry. They are not like, the Dudley Boys or the Road Warriors or whatever. And that match was 12 minutes and 5 seconds of excruciatingly painfulness to watch. The next match, I'll never fucking understand.
This was a great match until the end.
Yeah, it was a good match. Casino Gauntlet match for a future AEW World Championship match. Christian Cage runs in.
At the very... No, but just listen to these entrants.
Yeah, I was going to say, go down the entrance.
Like, one thing I was saying is that, like, this perfectly represents how stacked of a roster AEW has.
Sure.
Like, listen to this. You got Orange Cassidy, Cody, Nigel McGuinness, which I went crazy for.
Yeah, well... I'll say what I got to say when you're done going over the entrance about that.
Oh, what?
I like Nigel. I'm not just... No, I said it to you yesterday, but go ahead.
Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that was a shock.
And he was good. When
he's always good.
Roderick Strong.
Yeah,
Mark
great
Briscoe.
wrestler.
Hangman Adam Page, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett and his bitch wife. Ricochet.
I know. Jeff comes in. Jeff's like, you got a nice plate of steak, and next to it is like... a piece of liverwurst just laying there. Jeff needs to go away. He's like 60 fucking years old.
Ricochet, who
Ricochet
came in, did his stuff. I thought he looked amazing.
Sure, he always does.
Christian Cage and Kill Switch.
Can I ask why? I mean, they left it open to interpretation when they said Orange Cassidy versus everybody else who was going to be in it.
No, they...
Did they name Christian and Kill Switch were going to be in this already?
No.
All right, that's what I thought.
You only knew a couple of people that were going to be in it. You knew like 6 of the people. Because the idea is that it's a gauntlet match where it can end before all 21 people show up, and that's what happened here.
I never fucking understand these rules. It seems like they make them up as they go along, and they change every time.
And listen, the company is still only about 5 years old. Precedent is still can very much change.
Yeah, but you could still have rules in place that stay. Like, steel cage match rules been the same forever.
So, like, when Nigel McGuinness came in again, I went crazy. The crowd went crazy.
I thought I saw something there that he was going to win it because how long have they been pumping his hatred for Danielson? And Danielson's in the title match. Maybe Nigel gets his final match against Danielson.
Well, I think that's still going to happen. I just think that the reason they didn't do that...
Yeah, but now they'll do it on a fucking Dynamite or something.
Oh, God, whatever. Look, Tony's booking...
You can't say whatever when the guy who runs the company you're a huge fan of doesn't know how to make money.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't value money.
He doesn't really need to.
That's what I mean, though.
Shad gives him all the money he needs.
I can't see that lasting forever.
Him and he's gonna go over to Connecticut and put Triple H in the camel clutch.
But yeah, Christian winning it.
America, Russia, hey, Iran, hey,
Pakistan, #1. But anyway, Christian Cage, you go from possibly getting Nigel and Danielson for the final time to now, this is definitely going to be Christian and Adam Copeland.
I really hope it doesn't.
Well, they never really finished that. I mean, they did, but they didn't.
It should be a mid-card feud. They should feud over like the TNT belt. They aren't.
Well, suppose it's just, a stopover. It's a transitional champion. Christian at his age and Copeland at his age, they can't be
a long reigning world champion.
Well, he's probably going to because he's not going to wrestle all the time now. But
he's got an announcement on Dynamite, he said, which we'll already have heard by the time this airs. But
what do you think he's going to?
I don't know.
Don't tell me he's going to retire for good, surrender the title, and then we get another tournament. We haven't had more than 3 this month.
God, you hate AEW.
No, I don't. I don't hate any wrestling. Dude, I have watched wrestling that you wouldn't even be able to wrap your head around how fucking bad it is. The AWF in the early 90s. That
what
they
was
had
the AWF?
American Wrestling Federations, Tito Santana and Sergeant Slaughter. They had rounds like in boxing.
What? What is this, the Brawl for All?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it was all wrestling. It wasn't like fighting. But I'm just saying, like, I root for all wrestling to do well. I rooted for Shane Douglas's Extreme Rising he was going to do that never got off the ground. I emailed him and said I would help him. Because I'm a huge fan of his.
Shane Douglas.
I might be his only fan.
Dean Douglas.
Oh, that was fucking pitiful.
He was the teacher.
Well, because he was a teacher. That's why they did it. That's another Vince thing. He had the big exclamation point on him. And he stole Lanny Poffo's robes from when he was the genius.
Leaping Lonnie Poffo. What a jobber.
Hell of an athlete, though. Randy's brother. But anyway, I thought Christian winning that was piss poor. I rather would have seen Nigel win it or Ricochet would have been the WWE way of booking. The surprise guy would have won it. Ricochet. But it wasn't a surprise because we found out a couple days before.
Or Hangman should have won it.
Yeah. So to get it,
well, if Hangman won, then you would have thought it would have been Swerve would have won the main
event. I thought Swerve was going to win the main event after Nigel didn't win.
But see, I think that's why they didn't have Nigel win, was to make you think Swerve was going to win.
Yeah, but they don't have to swerve you. No pun intended. They don't have to swerve you all the time. Like, sometimes you know what's going to happen.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll do, like, Christian and Danielson on an episode of, like, Dynamite, like, 2 weeks from now. And then they'll have Nigel on the big pay-per-view. Yeah,
I'd rather see Nigel and that get more attention than him and Christian. But, just because you know what's going to happen doesn't mean the people can't execute it in a way where you go, wow, that was awesome.
All right.
Anyway, the next match was the match everybody was waiting for.
5 stars.
5 at least. Will Ospreay defeated MJF, the total package Lex Luger, in his Lex Express outfit.
For one, I love the entrance.
I got physically ill when I saw that outfit.
I think that was the point, though.
I know, but he comes out looking like Apollo fucking Creed.
Nick Neville is most wanted man. He stinks.
I'll fight him. My face kicked in.
He stinks.
You come to my house. My house stinks. That's right, it stinks.
That's right, it stinks.
that was Mooks on the last TNA.
No, well, that's Stallone in the movie when he's yelling at Mickey. That's like the Oscar-winning performance he has right there.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what I think of where Moose power bombs Nick Nemeth. The
Legs broke, arms broke, nothing to do nothing. And you have the inside street? Sticks its place. But Will Ospreay never fails to.
With his Assassin's Creed entrance, which I really did like.
Yeah, but you talk about it.
This is different.
It's different because it's AEW.
No, because listen, in WWE,
and it's not dude wipes.
In WWE, they'll just fucking say it, or they'll be like, "Here's a random conversation where we're talking about."
WWE does it like on the walls, like an NFL game would do it. Yeah,
but like
I don't care for that either.
In AEW, this was something where Ospreay,
shameless commercialism is what it is.
Where Ospreay always did outside of AEW, he did Assassin's Creed entrance.
Oh, he always has that. He's the aerial assassin. He has the tattoo. I liked Ezio because I'm a fan of the series.
In his match with Kenny at Wrestle Kingdom, when Kenny came out as no, it wasn't that match. It was his last match at Wrestle Kingdom. He came out like
he was Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah, from Syndicate.
Yeah, that's the one Jacob I couldn't think of the name of.
That was
the one with Jack the Ripper. That's the one I couldn't think of the name of.
He in England at one point he came out dressed. Or in when he was a junior heavyweight, I saw a video. He came.
That wasn't the year Kenny was Sephiroth from Final Fantasy.
No, that was a different one.
Yeah.
Came out dressed like Connor from Assassin's Creed 3.
But this was that one was cool because he's got the wolf or the eagle, whatever the hell it is.
This,
I played part of the way through 3, and I just lost interest.
They did the entrance, and the ad was secondary. It was just a banner there.
I don't know. They got to make money somehow. Though.
The assassins doing. They had the people doing parkour, and they had.
You know what? I have to say something though. I was saying this to your cousin when we were watching it. Why didn't somebody clean up the fucking entryway with all the money everywhere?
That was cool. I thought.
Yeah, but it looked like a mess. Like WWE, they would have had people out there sweeping it up in the middle of the match or right before the match ended or started. Like, I think you should get points for that.
Oh,
and you should get points. No, like
for
they
should.
should.
Oh, what? Like you think they should have cleaned it up?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Because people were stepping on it the rest of the night. It ain't real fucking money like when DiBiase used to throw it out to the crowd.
Wait, what? He had real money he would throw?
Vince used to give him real... Do you understand how you don't... Kayfabe was the way of life. He made DiBiase... Now, I'll make this quick because we'll get back to the card here. But when he brought DiBiase in from Mid-South or UWF, whatever it was, he said, I want you to come in. He goes, well, what gimmick am I going to have? He goes, you got to trust me. I'm not telling you until you get here. So he got in and he gave him the $1 million man because Vince said, this is the gimmick I would do if I was a wrestler. And there was rumored when he had the IED originally, he was going to, the only other person he had in mind was Gina Hernandez, but he died. So, but DiBiase, Vince would give him rolls of money and make him go places and tip people and pay for everything cash. So, you lived the gimmick.
Well, WWE doesn't do kayfabe at all anymore.
Nobody really. AEW is, Tony especially, is more committed to it.
AEW, those in WWE, they'll send their mystical wizards over to Whataburger. Or put Uncle Howdy with Ryback on an Instagram live stream. I showed you that, right?
Yeah, I didn't even look it up after you said
Ryback.
Because I don't. Did you ever see Biggie Langston do Ryback on Twitter? He did it a couple times. It was really funny. But
Big E's funny. I like. Hey, y'all, Big E.
Did you ever see the one time when he was with Dolph in the beginning? He was Dolph's bodyguard when Dolph was with AJ. He's walking out with him, and he's going like this. He fucking clocks AJ right in the mouth. All 100 pounds of her. I felt so bad.
Big E's huge.
But Will Ospreay, he never fails to impress.
But one thing I do want to say, because I kept seeing people talking about this online, is that MJF's big patriotic entrance had the red, white, and blue streamers, and they got stuck up above the ring. People thought that was really cool online.
Yeah, I thought it was part of the show. Would have been cool. James Brown's dead, but he should have come out to Living in America, like in Rocky IV, when James Brown sings Carl Weathers to the
No, but then
they
really would have. No, but then you really would have known that Ospreay was going to win. Apollo dies right after that.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Go talk to your grandfather about that. He fucking hates that movie.
Rocky IV?
Yeah, we saw it in a movie theater. He hated the whole... He came out 85 in the height of the whole Cold War, nuclear arms bullshit. Reagan was president and all that. And he's like, all this East versus West shit. He goes, they had to kill Apollo. They didn't have to do that. He goes, and then to keep making it worse, they give Rocky brain damage right after that. And then suddenly he gets to fight again at 60 and doesn't have it anymore. The whole story's ludicrous after 2. Now, after 3. 3 was cool because he trains with the black guys and he changes his whole way of fighting.
Nick Nemeth! He stinks!
Stinks in this place!
Real nice. Come on in the mood. It stinks.
Okay, but
All right, but Ospreay, did you see the sunset flip pile driver?
No.
He fucking nailed him on the apron. Ospreay's laying on the concrete with his eyes open. I thought he fucking killed him. Because there was a couple of pile driver moves there that were so quick you wouldn't have time to brace yourself on the guy's legs. So I thought he would have gotten really, really injured.
But they had just some great moves here.
Oh, yeah, mostly from Ospreay. But MJF's no slouch.
MJF, as I have watched...
That hairpiece he's got must be making him... that hair transplant he had must have...
Last, 3-4 years that I've been watching, he has gotten a lot better in the ring. Ever since his match with Danielson at Revolution...
Yeah.
Was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, because last year's Revolution was Sting.
Yeah.
But ever since that match... I thought that I think that was the match where he proved himself in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And
that he could hold his own
working
a match against the best.
And now he's really good in the ring.
And there's no more American title now. Walmart, Adam Pearce, Christopher Daniels came out and gave the new international title back.
So what, every single bald man with a beard has to be Adam Pearce?
It's just somebody said it online and they put the pictures next to each other. It just made sense to me. Why you question my jokes?
Christopher Daniels is a way better wrestler than Adam Pearce ever was.
Adam Pearce was NWA World Champion.
Yeah, in 2010.
Daniels was always Daniels is older than him, though. Daniels was an ECW guy, like the original ECW, when he had hair still. All right, and another match that
But yeah, so just overall, that match was very good.
Best match on the show, which you knew it would be.
I don't know.
The main event, yeah.
My three favorites were the main event, which we'll get to, that match, and the gauntlet match. Just because Nigel being there put it over the top.
It got me interested. I didn't even recognize the music.
Because he was in amazing shape, Nigel.
Oh, yeah, he's still in good shape. But doesn't he have hepatitis C?
Apparently, I was reading something.
Because you're the one that told me that. I thought that was true.
Apparently, he's got medication for it.
Well, yeah, you can take Inferon and stuff like that, and it, but eventually, if you don't do anything about it, it kills your liver and kills you. But
apparently,
did he get that from Bladen and stuff like that from somebody?
I don't know.
Because most people either get it from, I've heard wrestlers getting it through that, and people for intravenous drug use and having sex with somebody that might have had it. But
Rikishi, take note.
That's pretty good.
You can get a woman pregnant from 20 paces.
I went out on a date with a girl one time, and she told me she had Hep C in the middle of the date. I thought she was asking me if she wanted to order a Pepsi. I wasn't listening. And it was going so good. And she tells me in the middle of the date, this is like 15 years ago.
What, you stop and left?
No. I stayed and hung. I had already paid for dinner.
So you would have been like, what, close to my age?
No, I was like 30. I was older than you.
Wow.
But I said to her, she goes, I have hepatitis C. I'm like, oh. And I was like dumbfounded. And she goes, don't worry, you can't get it through sex. And I was like, well, I'm flattered. Apparently, you were going to sleep with me until you said this, but there was none of that happening. So,
okay.
But anyway, little aside there.
Mercedes Moné.
Moan.
I wasn't really paying attention to this. A lot of people online didn't like it. They thought Britt Baker was slow as molasses.
And nobody likes Mercedes. Nobody.
Well, this was a dead spot in the card anyway.
This is where you go get a beer or pop. This is the popcorn match. You go get your food. Take a dump. Take a dump. Bring your food with you till you're done. But that was like, Britt put the glove on and did the whole the nerve thing she does with her hand, but I knew they're going to save Mercedes to when Camille goes over, or when they try to put Camille over as a babyface and she fucking fails, because they're going to do the Shawn Michaels Diesel thing. That's what everybody's saying. So they're going to save it for then, and then she's going to beat him. But it's something like that. You should have her at least maybe lose it to somebody, and then have Camille help her get it back.
I know. I've heard Camille has said one word on the mic.
Kevin Nash didn't talk forever when he was Diesel. He just showed up. He showed up like Razor Ramon was following Michaels back through the curtain. You saw this phantom punch or something, and it was Kevin Nash. But yeah, that match didn't do a goddamn thing for me. I
like the entrances.
Oh, yeah, her entrance with the corgis and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the carriage.
Yeah, that was neat, but... Okay, we'll move on to another abomination.
This is a glorified squash match.
10 minutes. I can't believe Darby comes out. First of all, I don't know. I hate that pink terry cloth bathrobe he wears everywhere. And then he comes out with the fucking skateboard. Like, the ramp goes like this and then goes down into a decline. I figured he was going to ride it to the ring. Nah, he walks with it the whole time.
No, he doesn't. He walked. He rode part of the way.
Where? I was watching the whole thing. I didn't see it. Yeah, whatever. And fuckface Perry comes out. Perry just basically...
He's our scapegoat.
Yeah, you got the fuck
He's
CM
our
Punk chance.
scapegoat.
But he
had real glass. Cry me a river.
he's awful.
He's over.
Which his career was. I don't see anything.
He had his custom TNT championship belt.
He had a big deal. He beat up Darby Allin, the only guy on the roster that's smaller than he is.
He put him in a body bag, and then he dragged him over and put the body bag in the coffin.
I wish they would have lit it on fire.
They were about to, and then Sting showed up.
Did you see, was that black face paint around the side of his face, or is he wet? Is he an old man dyeing his hair with Grecian formula? His hair looked so black. I was waiting if he was wearing
hair dye.
If he was in a white shirt, he would have been on his collar like those old men you see.
And it would have been great, Sting came in, did 2 Scorpion Death Drops, and left.
Yep. But I did not like Jack Perry. You're never going to be able to get me to like Jungle Jack off, ever.
At first, I thought it was going to be Sting's sons, because apparently they're training to be wrestlers.
One of them is definitely, yeah.
I think they both are, and they live on Darby's lawn, apparently. Or at least they were.
Darby's training them?
Or, partly.
All right, well, let's get to
Because if you remember, they were at Sting's last match.
Yeah, and they're in good shape. One of them was a Division I college football player.
Yeah, they came out dressed like Surfer Sting and Wolfpack Sting.
Yeah, Wolfpack Sting. Jesus Christ.
Conan come out and rap the
The 12th match, God help us.
The main event, some Bryan Danielson
finally, to your happiness,
wins the AEW World Championship
by defeating Swerve Strickland by submission with the LaBelle Lock.
With Prince Nana.
Oh, your cousin and I were doing the dance outside when I was grilling because I was cooking while that match was on.
Hey, Nana!
I had it on the phone and on the TV in the garage at the same time.
I remember Swerve said in some interview that, Nana, he thinks Nana is the one that really got his gimmick over.
Oh, he did, because Nana was like a heel. No, Swerve got himself over, but Nana went along for the ride because Nana was always a heel manager.
Yeah, but Nana put him over the top.
Yeah, I would have to say that.
Nana's entertaining.
Oh, sure he is. But this was a good match. It was 26 minutes, 10 seconds longer than the Ospreay match at 25:50.
It was brutal. And Danielson's family was right there.
Yeah, that was nice at the end. You got to see Bree Mode and the kids come in the ring.
Yeah.
The one kid's kind of stupid. He kept falling down, but, whatever.
It's like 4 years old. He's chasing around confetti.
I know. I got one of them upstairs. He's not,
But, yeah, we saw some...
He's not finding no cure for cancer either.
We got to see, they made you think that Danielson was going to lose.
Yeah, it was well done.
Yeah, he was bleeding all over the place.
And the thing that Nigel not winning the match, you kind of thought it might.
Swerve hit him with big pressure, which is like that move where he picks you up and drops you. No one's ever kicked out of big pressure before.
Yeah, and he sold it real well with a surprised look on his face. He looked like Joe Biden if Donald Trump showed up somewhere.
It's like, Danielson again. It looked like he was dead. He kicked out at 2.99.
He had a spike in his head, too, at one point, didn't he?
No, he didn't. It just looked like that.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I could.
They tried making it look like that where Swerve,
I was watching it on the phone.
Where Swerve was they tried making it look like Swerve was dragging something in his head, but there was no wound there.
Oh, okay.
That's not where, it was just moving the blood around. So they wanted to make it look like that. It's like when they did a really bad camera job during the Mariah May Tony Storm match at one point, where Tony Storm was slamming Mariah's head into the steps, and you could see that that her hands were going down first.
I just looked up as we're talking here to see if Meltzer's star ratings were available. They will not be available till August 30th, so we'll have to go over them next week.
Meltzer.
Which I would like to go over them because...
Well, I saw...
Now, he was there, you said, right?
Yes.
He was at the scrum, probably stuttering.
But overall, I thought the main event was that was 5 stars.
Oh, yeah, the main event would have to be... I would give. You want me to tell you
And
what?
like the end was great, where his family came in, and then the BCC came out.
It would have been nice if Mox was there.
I mean, he's been on vacation all summer. He doesn't have a phone anymore. That's what
Why
Renee,
did his parole officer take it away?
that's what Renee posted on her Instagram. Mox threw his phone into a fire pit.
I would give Mariah May and Tony, Ospreay and MJF, and Danielson and Swerve could all get at least
I would
5
give
stars
that-
if you're asking me personally.
And the gauntlet match, despite the ending.
No. Because of the ending, you cannot give it 5 stars. An ending can ruin a match, it can knock it down. I don't agree with these fucking star ratings half the time anyway. I looked up every star rating he's ever did. Bret Hart only has 2 against Austin at WrestleMania 13.
And Angle has none.
Yeah, Angle, who is a really good amateur wrestler, period.
Again, he's in my top 4.
Oh, yeah, he's in my top 10, but I have a different top 5 than you because I'm older.
Yeah, mine's dead.
Brett's always won.
Put Flair up there.
No, I don't think Flair. I told you, I said Flair's the greatest wrestler of all time. He's not my top 5. I would do Hart, Savage, Benoit, and after that, they're my top 3. Danielson's in my top 5 now.
No, for
Has
me,
to be,
it's
'cause I've liked him for years.
Danielson, Omega, Ospreay, and Angle. But anyway, Meltzer was at the scrum.
Yeah,
and I
go
saw
over
the
this
video of it later. And Ospreay's up there. It looks like he's got a Pizza Planet shirt on from Toy Story.
Who, Ospreay?
Yeah. And he's got a baseball cap on. And he's like, Meltzer! Bro, how you doing? Hey! It's my
Dave's had a hell of a week with all the shit he's been making up.
It's my biggest fan!
He is his biggest fan. He has more 5-star matches than anybody. 5+ stars.
Let me check that, because actually you can find this.
No, I found it on Wikipedia when I was talking about it.
But one thing, speaking of 5 stars, let's finish off our show with this. Overall, great show. I thought it was better than last year's.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. I mean, they had less people there, but this is the second time you're doing it. Next year, it's going to be in Texas, which is more in line with the attendance they had. They'll probably have an overflow crowd there because it's a smaller stadium. Baseball seats like 40,000.
They announced in February they're doing Grand Slam in Australia.
And they're doing Forbidden Door in
London.
Not at Wembley.
No, not at
the
Wembley.
O2 Arena or something.
Yeah. I don't know where that is, but...
it's right near there or something.
So I want to talk about this. So I was moving into my new apartment on campus on Saturday. And I'm sitting there in my new living room reading stuff online about Stevie Richards and Maven.
Oh, God.
And I
was afraid you were going to get to this.
I just feel like we have to bring it up on the show. I am so fucking tired of wrestlers that were never over or never did anything. Like, going online now and talk... I know that you said that, like, everyone has a podcast in wrestling.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like maybe just as I get these guys in my recommended on YouTube all the time...
So do I, because we look up a lot of wrestling shit.
It seems like Maven is the worst.
Well, he's a fucking nobody. Stevie Richards has, like, a great career compared to Maven.
Yeah, compared to Maven. Yeah, I really know Stevie. He was...
Big Stevie Cool in the BWO. And he takes it up the ass, remember?
Oh, God, that's awful. That's awful.
That's the greatest chant ever. Holiday Hell 95. They couldn't even bleep it on the channel.
They had... he was Raven's sidekick. And then in TNA, he was Daphne's therapist.
Yeah, but that's all you know him as?
Yeah.
I know him at that... What the hell? I make it out with fucking Missy Hyatt at ringside at Holiday Hell 95 and the Stevie kick. But I don't think... Did Raven take him to WCW with him? I don't think he did. No. Because he had his flock and he wound up having Saturn in there.
And Billy Kidman, I thought. Wasn't Billy Kidman?
Billy Kidman. Saturn, and who was the other one? Lodi?
Lenny and Lodi, the West Hollywood Blondes.
And then Van Hammer.
Yeah.
Who was, Christ, from like 1991, like Bill Watts WCW.
Van Hammer.
Looked like a big, buff, tall Sammy Hagar from Van Halen.
I think that was the point. But anyway.
But he didn't look like him when he came back with the flock.
Like Stevie Richards posted a video about how he's feuding with Meltzer and that he's making
Who is it? We're feuding with Meltzer. He just doesn't know it.
He's making up his own star ratings, and he gave like Brett and versus the Bulldog 5 stars.
Yeah, I would give that 5 stars. You didn't tell me that one yesterday.
I don't know. I don't remember all of them.
You should definitely watch that.
I didn't watch
92.
the full video. I didn't watch the full video.
No, but that match, you should definitely watch.
The other ones was like Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3.
That's a lousy fucking match.
It's terrible.
That's a 2-star match.
Andre doesn't move because he can't.
He can't. That's the end of his career. But like I said, if you want to argue the importance of that match to the history of wrestling,
Roman
fine.
And Cody at WrestleMania 40.
That was pretty good.
No, it wasn't.
But it wasn't like, when you start talking about 5-star matches, I'm talking about technical moves, aerial shit that I've never seen, like anything Ospreay does.
No,
like, not Andre and Hogan. I mean,
or
geez.
Roman and Cody. Everyone remembers that match for all the run-ins.
That might be one of the worst matches of Hogan's career. Like Hogan Savage. WrestleMania 5 is good because of Savage. Hogan carries the match at WrestleMania 6 with the Warrior because he had to. Even the first WrestleMania main event, Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. That might be...
Orndorff?
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
Paul Orndorff.
Bobby Orton Ace in the corner, the Ace. Going on a broken arm for 35 years now or something. But, no, I agree with you. Some of these guys, just because they wrestle...
And Maven, just makes all these YouTube videos where he's like, what it's really like being backstage in WWE. Who did I have heat with in WWE?
You mean besides The Undertaker?
What it's like having a contract. How did Vince, it's like...
I know, they're like TED Talks.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
You're right, because didn't he botch eliminate The Undertaker?
Yeah, and he knew he was going to get his ass kicked right after he did it. You can tell by the look on his face. Undertaker had a match that he beat the ever-loving shit out of him.
Didn't a bunch of guys beat the shit out of him?
No, you're thinking of Daniel Pooter, the guy that tried to get...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He was going to break... He went into business for himself, though, and was going to try to break Angle's arm.
Yeah.
And then he goes in the Rumble, and they automatically put... Who was it? Guerrero, Benoit, and Bob Holly to come in after him. And they fucking nonstop live round potatoes, man. Like, his chest was bleeding. Worse than Gunther in that match at SummerSlam. Worse. They beat the fuck out of that guy. He deserved it for being an asshole.
Daniel Pooter.
All right, well, let's do a little bit of news here since we just finished off the All-In review. It's not much, but we'll do the Fed stuff first. CM Punk refers to himself as Taylor Swift for men.
Fuck him.
Yeah, I knew you were going to have something very intelligent to say about that.
Him and his 3 moves.
Oh, shut up. Undertaker jokingly asked Triple H to cut Raw down to 2 hours when they go to Netflix. I think that would be a good idea. Because for years I've said, why would you do a 3-hour live show when the shows were 3 hours? But then they went the other way and they made the shows fucking 7 hours. And one of our favorites, Joe Hendry, to challenge Ethan Page for the NXT title on September 1st, which will be...
Not even signed there.
No, but he will be. You said that when we watched that TNA show. I said, he's a star. You're like, that's why he ain't going to be here. He's going to leave.
Well, that's why they signed this agreement in the first place. They're going to poach whoever they want and then break the agreement. At least with AEW, they sent, in New Japan... They sent some people over there for their biggest shows.
Oh, yeah. They took Okada and all these other good guys, and they sent Rocky Romero over.
No, but
Rocky's actually from it.
Danielson went and wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom. So did Moxley. And Claudio, Moxley, and Danielson were at Dominion.
Moxley went because they had a water pipe break, and he had to fix it. So
God, you hate wrestlers that remind you of you.
No, that has nothing to do with it. I just never thought he was...
Moxley's in the top 10 best wrestlers of all time.
You're so full of shit. I ought to get a new host for this show. That just proves you don't know what you're talking about right there. And finally, Sami Zayn receiving stem cell therapy for nagging injuries. I think he should come back in the mask as El Generico after he gets the injuries fixed.
Didn't he do that in NXT at one point?
I don't remember.
Why do I feel like he did that in NXT at one point? He put on the El Generico mask.
I don't remember. I have to look it up. Because at the beginning of NXT, they had Cesaro down there wrestling him because he was rehabbing.
Yeah.
So... All right, in the AEW news, Sean Sapp says AEW has been offered at least double their current deal by WBD. But a couple months back, we did what they were getting paid. And for them to pay them double, that's not breaking the bank on Warner Brothers Discovery too much. So
whatever.
I would be fine with that. No, No, it's good that they're getting the money,
I know,
but I'm just saying it's not costing WBD an arm and a leg.
It's making Shad more money.
I don't know if they make money, dude.
Shad Khan.
There's no estimated return for Kenny Omega yet, but he is now training with moderate intensity.
Adam Cole is going to begin in-ring training again soon.
Who?
Adam Cole.
Baby?
God, just remember, 1 year ago, he was one of the most over guys in the company.
And then, like the schmuck that he is,
He jumped
he
down a
jumped
ramp,
off the high part of the ramp and broke his ankle.
shattered
That's
it.
it. It's the same thing with Punk breaking his foot. It's not needed. He dove into the crowd and cracked his foot on the guardrail.
No, I thought the way Punk broke his foot is that he kept trying to do the buckshot lariat.
No, that made it worse. He heard it before the match even.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that made it like way worse.
Oh, I thought that's what hurt it in the first place.
Now, I watched a documentary about his whole career there, and he said that in an interview that he believes he broke it, and he might have, I don't know, but he made it worse trying to do the buckshot lariat. That's why that buckshot lariat looked like some shit.
Whatever, he's going to get hurt at Bash in Berlin anyway.
I hope not, because I would rather get hurt on a bigger stage than that. But per Wrestle Talk, AEW may add up to 6 more championships. Jesus Christ!
It might just be possible that they're trademarking all these so that no
they've
one
only
takes them.
They've only tried to trademark the meat thing yet, but it could be the meat championship, cruiserweight, mixed tag, interpromotional, and women's tag. I'm not interested in any of that. Why would you do a cruiserweight when all your guys are that size anyway?
Exactly. That's
the AEW World Champion doesn't have heavyweight in the title for a reason.
I think that if they did like the meat championship, if it was just guys like 300 and over,
yeah, but then call it the super heavyweight. I think that's it. If you want to get this shit to taken seriously again, you need to go back to different kind of titles. Like, I don't care about, the meat championship makes me think you cut the most ham at Wawa. Like, I'm not.
It's like when they did the lemon eating contest between Tonga.
Yeah, you know how much I don't like that shit.
Well, but see, I love that.
Yeah, well, you're fucking weird. I told you that.
Like when they
some of the shit you like, where the guy who loses the title in a dream.
Yeah, that shit's amazing.
It's fucking stupid.
Dynamic Dream Team Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship. Oh my god, it's great. When the NJPW Cruiserweight, the NJPW Junior Heavyweight title was the champion because the belts were on top of each other.
Why?
Again, I love the anus explosion match.
That was interesting. It cost me a lot of time I lost that week trying to find that.
There's only like one video.
That wasn't even real. That was like put a sparkler in a guy's ass.
Still.
No, sparkler doesn't do anything. It might burn your ass hairs. Put an M80 up a guy's ass. I remember seeing some guy blow a cat up like that one time. The cat got about 2 feet before it blew him in half.
What the fuck?
Well, I didn't do it. I didn't know the guy was going to do it. I don't condone it. I got a cat out there.
Who's hanging out with the Von Erichs?
I don't know. This is like before we moved up this way.
You're hanging out with the Von Erichs?
And in the miscellaneous news, JBL shows up at GCW's show on 8/24 and hits 2 clotheslines from hell on this poor bastard. I don't even know who it was, but he knocked this guy out of his fucking shoes. He hit him so hard. If I can get a picture of it up there, I'll
remember
show
when JBL was managing Baron Corbin?
Now?
No, he was like a year or two ago. Maybe that's when he was.
The only reason
I think that's when he was happy Corbin.
Oh God! The only reason
you.
He even got over is because he was giving Vince fucking stock tips when they went public.
Really?
Yeah.
Corbin?
Yeah, JBL.
Oh.
Fuck Corbin. He's nobody.
I know Corbin was getting pushed for a while under Vince.
Yeah, well, that just shows you how out of touch Vince was. All the people he was pushing. The thing with the egg with Austin Theory. The funniest thing I see Vince do for years is when he told Seth Rollins he was going to be at WrestleMania, but he wasn't going to tell his opponent until he got there. And he walks into the office and he puts his feet up and he goes, "Get your feet off my desk."
Seth, if you wanted an opponent, all you had to do was ask. I remember that.
And then you have the famous story when Perk Angle texted Vince in the middle of the night that he could kick his ass. The next day he goes into his office and Vince goes, "So you think you can kick my ass, huh?" And he gets up and starts taking his jacket off because he wants to fight.
Did they actually fight?
No.
Oh, please, Kurt Angle could kick Vince's ass.
I heard they got into it on a plane one time, right in the aisle.
Especially
Vince years ago. Vince tried to get Harley Race to take the NWA title and no-show Starrcade '83. in a bathroom at a restaurant in New York. And when he didn't said no, he leg dived him and fucking Harley beat the shit out of him and he got arrested. Linda had to go bail him out of jail.
Linda.
He called up Gordon Soley, the famous announcer, one time and said, "Would you like to come and join the WWF with our expansion?" He goes, "No, I wouldn't." He goes, "Well, fuck you then." Just hangs up.
I'll shit on you.
And finally,
Jimmy killed that girl, and I shit right on her.
I found this out yesterday reading. Dory Funk Jr., did you hear about this?
No.
83 years old, teamed with Osamu Nishimura, who was 52, to defeat Onita, the Onita, and Reijin Yaguchi at FMW Terry Funk Memorial Show in Japan. A double hell current explosion death match.
I gotta find this.
So do I.
83 years old.
Yeah, well, Osamu's he's 52. I mean, Terry's dead. Dory's the older brother.
And was it a death match?
He looked like he couldn't move. Terry was always the nutty one. Dory was a great technical wrestler. He was NWA champ from like 69 to 73, something like that.
I think I was seeing something where when I was watching old school AJPW, his finisher was like a
spinning toe hold. Yeah, that fucking hurts, dude. That's back when wrestling, was taken seriously. People
That's what Soapy Hathaway did to Ishii, to drop toe hold.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's all we got for this week. Good night, everybody.
Get your hand off my penis!